Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nasuhana Binti Bacho and my metric number is AE18014. And today I'll be presenting about question 1 as well as question 2 for lab 4. Okay, so for question 1, the question is, before doing the soldering process, explain the things to pay attention to. Okay, so the answer is, before you can start soldering, you need to prep your soldering iron by tinning the tip with solder. This process will help improve the heat transfer from the iron to the item you are soldering. Tinning will also help to protect the tip and reduce wear. Okay, so we have 4 steps for tinning. So first, we begin by making sure the tip is attached to the iron and screwed tightly in place. So step 2, turn on your soldering iron and let it heat up. If you have a soldering station with an adjustable temperature control, set it to 400 Celsius or 752 Fahrenheit. The next step, wipe the tip of the soldering iron on a damp wet sponge to clean it. Wait a few seconds to let the tip heat up again before proceeding to the next steps. Next and last, hold the soldering iron in one hand and solder in the other. Touch the solder to the tip of the iron and make sure the solder flows evenly around the tip. So this tinning is done before and after each soldering session to extend the life cycle of the soldering tools. Okay, so but eventually every tip will wear out and will need replacing when it becomes rough or pitted. Okay, next, state the equipment used to perform the soldering process. Okay, so in this question, I have 3 main things, which is the soldering iron, the brass or conventional sponge, and also the solder. Okay, so for the first part is soldering iron. So what is a soldering iron? A soldering iron is a handheld tool that provides the heat source needed to melt the solder. These tools are typically pencil-like in shape and consist of several different parts that work together to form a comfortable, practical, and easy-to-use tool. While most irons are fairly small, they are also available as larger solder guns. No matter their size or shape, all soldering irons have the same essential components. These components are 1. Solder wick, as well the resting place for the soldering iron. Okay, so for 1, this is the handle of the iron and the part that you will hold onto. The one usually features a padded grip that provides you with something to hold comfortably and insulates you from the heat of the iron. The next, solder wick. If the tip of your soldering iron is the lead in the pencil, then think of the solder wick as the eraser. The solder wick is made of copper wire, braided together, and used for removing extra solder that won't be needed. And next is the resting tool. So while not part of the iron itself, the rest is an essential accessory that gives you a place to set the iron aside to free your hands. This rest prevents your table, counter, or workspace from being damaged by the heated iron if you should lay the iron directly on the surface. Okay, so next I have given some examples. Okay, so these are the ones. So as you can see, these are where our hand will hold onto the soldering tools. So as you can see, it is not made of metal and instead is made of insulation tools. Okay, so this, in particular, this one is the solder wicks. So how this works is that if you ever solder wrongly, we'll put this thing will be put into the solder, and then we will heat it up, and then it will absorb the solder okay, and then it will absorb the solder that you want to redo. Okay, so these are the rest area. So as you can see, this soldering tool will be put here, and these are the sponge which I will tell you later on. Okay, so this is the rest area. Okay, so next is brass or conventional sponge. Okay, so what is used for? Using a sponge will help to keep the soldering iron tip clean by removing the oxidation that forms. This with oxidation will tend to turn black and not accept solder as it did when it was new. You could use a conventional wet sponge, but this tends to shorten the lifespan of the tip due to expansion and contraction. Also, a wet sponge will drop the temperature of the tip temporarily when wiped. So, as you can see, this is sponge, right? So, typically people will put a sponge here, but if you want to use brush, can also it is better to use the brush as it said here. Okay, so lastly, solder. Solder is a metal alloy material that is melted to create a permanent bond between electrical parts. It comes in both lead and lead-free variations with diameters of 0.032 inches and 0.062 inches being the most common. Inside the solder core is a material known as flux, which helps improve electrical contact and its mechanical strength. So this is the solder. So this is what happens when we heat up the solder to connect the components. So that is all from me. Thank you.
So for the lab 4 that I have two is about this one. So describe the thing to pay attention to installing a component in on a PCB lah. So the first thing that we need to know before we install any component, so we need to know uh, the assembly drawing line. This is a blue line. The yellow one is called strings line. So if you want to me to show like this, okay, here, okay, from here you can see from the bottom left button we need to know this one copper voltage. From this we need to before being like this, uh, it be like this. So we need to put it all of this, and then after we use auto placer and auto rotor, and then after we use it, it will be like this. Oops, sorry, being like this. This is my data. So uh, that's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Rizwan Shakir bin Muhammad Hamzani. My matrix number is CE 190085. So I will present to you about my part for question 5 and completion. So question 5. Are there any other alternative soldering techniques beside the manual soldering to assemble the components? Yes, there are other alternative soldering techniques. Is selective soldering. Selective soldering is a type of wheel soldering mainly used for soldering printed circuit boards. Partially or fully assembled using through-hole component with a selective knots and select soldering machines, standard nitrogen inert, and a soldering port designed with titanium materials for resist the corrosive effect of aggressive lead-free soldering alloys. There are many benefits of selective soldering. The best is the better process. Also can definitely achieve higher quality, significantly lower cost due to selective soldering, which can be done with considerable selection the manufacturing process of selecting and soldering the selected technology. When surface mount components and mounted on both sides of the printed circuit board assembly, the wave soldering of through hole component is not always possible, nor is a manual soldering good compromise. Many through hole components cannot be replaced by surface mount technologies, especially when high mechanical loads are involved, such as connectors or switches, power electronics. So next, it also needs through hole mounting on the printed circuit board to help dissipate heat. The various variants of the printed circuit board assembly are usually components of temperature sensitive components used in combination with high heat capacity components on the same printed circuit board assembly. Manual intervention of wheel soldering or manual soldering usually result in soldering too low or too high temperature, and therefore quality issues are inherent. Secondly, the preheating or printed circuit board assembly and soldering using site-specific solder nozzles Even the programming is fully developed and can be set up by the operator without prior knowledge. A program within minutes tends to not send select software due to its inherent flexibility in the process. Selective soldering can be successfully used for large-scale soldering. A group of printed circuit board (PCB) assemblies and has many disadvantages, including the first one is process improvement and can be obtained safely and quickly. Second, ensures reliable solder joint without overheating the components. The third one, the guarantee duplicating process. And third one, and then the last one, eliminates the use of expensive aperture with solder pads or masks. So next, we have completion. We familiarize ourselves with soldering equipment as part of this lab's conclusion. Sponge soldering station, soldering iron, soldering wire, and soldering flux are among the tools RTLs utilize. Apart from that, we learn how to connect electronic components on this PCB using soldering and desoldering processes. Aside from that, we check the build circuit for the operation. After soldering all the components, we must test the circuit to see if there is an unconnected component that is causing the circuit to malfunction. Last but not least, our communication skills within group and hands-on skills are boosted after the experiment, and moreover our soldering techniques become better. So that's all from me, that's all from us. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.